Okay, back to the last segment, but this segment, as per my team, should also go, a portion of this should also go in the YouTube, which we are going to release on 30th of March. And that is where I felt that this would be a good example, right? So this is how we have, this also shows how advanced our formula is. And here our course is basically, and this is the multi-cell array. For those who have purchased the course, they would see this as a part of a video. So you might get surprised to why we are saying this again. But yeah, because this section will go in the YouTube. So that is why I'm kind of, kind of giving an intro. So this is our Excel advanced course, and welcome to Blue Dragon Universe. And yeah, this formula that you are seeing, or this three formula sheet that you are going to see, these are just trailers of how advanced this course is. Array formula is probably the toughest in Excel, and we have covered that in extreme detail, which you are going to learn right now. And this is multi-cell array formula. So this means the result of the array is coming in multiple cells, right? Not in single cell. And before this, we have covered a section where the array formula was coming in a single cell. It's like magic with array formulas. That is what I call this, right? And yeah, this is also a mega formula because once we get into some sort of difficulty, like here you can see, when I initially wrote this formula, it was coming out to be, some error. Then we remove this here, right? So the section before this was a single cell array formula, and those who have purchase the course, right? For them, it is easier to understand. Nevertheless, the people who are seeing this on YouTube, for them, this is how advanced your knowledge in Excel should be, so that you can give yourself 9 out of 10 in an interview, right? And if that is not the case, then you cannot, either you purchase the course to get to that level by practicing this, or you do not give yourself 9 out of 10, right? Just leave that thing for the Blue Dragon Universe students. So what is that we are going to do here? So here you can see this range, and this is the data range, right? And we need only the positive value from that, right? We do not need any negative value. So this minus 33 is removed here. You can see that this minus 5 is removed here, right? So the question is how you can do that, right? So the way we can do this is, when we understand this. Now, people before this, who have been a student of us, they already understand what is this indirect and row data is doing. In this case of rows, you can also use count, right? So this rows is basically calculating the number of rows that is present here, right? So if you just select this segment, row data, right, and press F9, so it will show you 20, right? So what indirect does is it converts something into, like, it requires an address, and it throws the address, like it gets the value that is present in the address, right? So in this case, we are going to get 1 is to 20, right? And that will be converted into $1.20, right? So, and here we are using the small function. This means that we are going to use the first value or second value or third value or fourth value, like that, right? So small function gives the first smallest number or second smallest number or third smallest number. That is the concept, right? Once again, people who have taken the course, for them it is very easy to understand, but for the people who are just seeing this video on YouTube, for them it will be overwhelming, like, what is this going on, right? I have not never used this formula, and that is the purpose of this course, to go as advanced as possible in Excel formulas, right? So coming back to this, so this is the small, and if data greater than 0 and everything else. So how can you understand such formula? Just go to evaluate, right? So first, in this case, you can see we have taken this data, right? So we are doing an lookup sort of thing, because we need the numbers from this range, right? But within that range, so we are trying to determine the value that are kind of positive, right? So how we are doing that? If data is greater than 0, then you get the row number of that data, right? So if data is greater than 0, only then it will be executed. There is no condition for the false of if, right? So we have not put any condition for the false of if, and then it will take the first small value, then it will take the second small value, then it will take the third small value out of this range. So this if statement is creating a range or creating a range of values where it is positive, and from those positive we want everything, right? So then here we are going to get first value, second value, third value, fourth value, fifth value to the 20th value. Then that is why, because we are getting 20th value, and if there are not 20 positive values, so it will obviously going to create some error, right? Because you are not going to get 20 positive value, because there are some values which are negative, and that is what has happened here, right? So how can you remove that? You just add an if error function, right? So using that, we have removed that. So it is not that this is this formula is not producing value. It is still producing value, but it is producing no value, right? And you can also use is error, right? So you can also use is error, you can also use if error. The concept is similar. Before 2007, you have to use is error because there was no formula for is error, right? So that is how it works. But now, since there is error is not needed, right? And another thing, because this is a multi-cell array formula, you have to select the entire cell, right? And then only you have to write the formula, and then kind of paste the formula for the entire cell, right? By pressing Control Shift Enter. So in the first part, the introduction of the array part, I have shown how you can kind of put this number, right? Otherwise, you will only get this number. For example, if I just do F2 and press Control Enter, right? So because this is an array, so maybe let me copy this, right? Because array formulas, you have to press Control Shift Enter to enter, right? But suppose I want this to same formula should be put in this column, right? So how can we put the formula in this column, right? Just for the YouTube audience, I'm trying to show this, because normal students should already know about this, right? So you are going to write equal to, and then this. Now suppose you write Control Enter, right? You will only get one value, right? And then if you come down, and you are still going to get the same value, which is minus 33, and it is not working, right? So how can you get the right value? So here you can see it is not an array formula, right? It is not an array formula. So here if you press Control Shift Enter, right, you are going to get 33 in this case. Now you can see this is a array formula. Instead of pressing Control Enter, you have pressed Control Shift Enter, right? So if you put here, you're still getting 33. If you put here, you're still getting 33. So now that minus 33 is gone, but now it is not working properly, right? So how can you get the array? Because it is a multi-cell formula. First you have entered this using Control Shift Enter. So the first value is entered, but then you have to select the entire cell, right? So I've selected all the cells, and now you are going to highlight this. How can you do that? By pressing F2. So this one would be highlighted, right? So the moment it is highlighted, you can see that the formula is coming into picture, and you have already the cells is selected. Now you press Control Shift Enter, it will be captured for the entire cell, right? And as you know, you cannot delete a part of an array. If you try to do that, this will be the message you are going to get, right? So you can only delete the entire thing, right? Select the everything and delete it, right? So that is how it works. Now if I just do the evaluation, just observe this row one indirect, what happens here after this indirect, right? So that is the important thing, one row, and then you are going to get this data, right? So because all this data is present, and then the true and false are coming out, because we have written data is greater than 0, right? So that data is getting converted. Now here we are going to start the evaluation here, one and rows, this, right? So it is getting converted into 1 and 20, right? 1 colon and 20. So if you see this is 1 and 20, it will be converted to $1 $20, which row will give 20 arrays, right? So in that case, it is 1 to 20, and row will create this 1 2 3 4 5 6 20, right? But then that the value that will be applicable will be only applicable when that is true, right? So that is how that is what I was saying, that all this false and true. So this false value would not be working. This value would be only taking the value where it is true, like 1, and then here you can see 3, right? So all this the true values would be kind of taken into consideration, and for all of those, the first smallest number would be coming from here, the second smallest number, then third smallest number, in that way, right? And you'll get 20 smallest numbers. So that is why the same concept has been put here. But as I mentioned, because there are not 20 array value in the range, you will not get the value for the false, right? So that is why you will get number error, and the moment you replace that with if error, right? So then we are going to get the number. Here the same thing is happening, right? 1 is to 20, then you are getting 1 is to 20 here, so that will give you all the numbers, the first number, the second number, the third number, in that way, right? So that way it works. I hope how it works is clear. Second, similar thing here, we are trying to determine what are the non-blank cells, and in this case the only change that we have made, because suppose you know this formula, right, you understand how to write this formula, then this formula is piece of cake. You know that, yeah, I am going to just if data is not equal to blank, right, same remaining things are same, right? That is how it works. Earlier it was negative, here it is blank, right? And here we have used the if error, so that there is no error here. Okay, moving on. Now here you are reversing the order. So first is coming at the last range, and the 10th one is coming at the first range, right? So how can you do that, right? So obviously whenever you have to, kind of like, we are trying to get this value first, right? So we are kind of doing a lookup. That's why I've used lookup. Data is the name range for this. Then how we are going to get this rows of data? So this is 10th, right? So basically we need to get the last number right here. So how can we get the last number, right? So rows of data, which gives you, in this case, whatever is the number of rows here, which is 10, right? So that 10 minus row of indirect. So this is, now you are familiar with this will create the array of rows, right? So it will be create, first it will create 1, then 2, and then 3, right? So 10 minus, in this case it will be 10 minus 1, then 10 minus 2, and in that way this array would work, right? So this will give 10 rows data, and this will create an array, right? Now here what we are trying to do is, if within index data, right? So if index data, and then this is the row number, what row number you are getting, you are going to get, right? So that is the last, which is the last row number in this case, or the overall row number, minus, in for the first entry, in this case it will be 1, so it will be 10 minus 1, right? So it will be 10 minus 1 plus 1, right? So that you will get the 10th entry. So within data you are going to get the entry for the 10th row, right? And then if that is equal to nothing, then put nothing, because sometime it might be, the value might be there might be no value, right? So that is why we have put that. Otherwise, if there is if there is value there, then put the value there, right? So that is how it works. For the first entry it is 10 minus 1 plus 1, then for the second entry is 10 minus 2 plus 1, so it will take this one, right? In that way it works. So I hope you understood how this formula works. So here we are just using an index function, simply like, first we are getting the 10th row, then we are putting the 9th one, and then we are putting the 8th one, and in that way we are reversing the range, right? So index, and then we are getting the value of that, value of a row in that array, right? And the column is obviously there is only one column, right? So that need not be written, in fact, right? So it will automatically pick up the value. Column is, anyways, it's a optional entry, right? So you can see this here, sorry, column is an optional entry, so it will automatically pick up 1 for that, right? So that is how it works, right? We have just made it more dynamic, right? So we have just made it dynamic, and that is how it works. Why it is an array formula? What is the reason for that? Is because of this row indirect one. So here we are making it dynamic, so that 10 minus, for the first row it will be 10 minus 1 plus 1, so it will get the 10th result. Then 10 minus 2 plus 1, which will get the 9th number, right? So we are kind of reversing that, and that's how it works. I hope the concept is clear. Once you can visualize this, it's very easy, right? So this is a multi-cell array, like these three examples are multi-cell array. For people those who have purchased the course, this is single cell array as well. And if you're interested in purchasing the course today, I'm going to leave the link of that course in the description, so you can purchase this till 30th, till 30th of March. And this video will be published on 30th of March. So till 30th of March, you are going to get a discount, which would be 50% discount. So it will be 750 Indian rupees, right? And after 31st of March, it will be 1500, right? So if you are watching this video today, then you have the chance. And if you like this advanced concept of Excel, because there is those are the things that we have covered here. So extremely advanced thing. And if you like this concept, then that is what you are going to learn. Along with this Excel file obviously will be shared. We are getting this silly question, I don't know why, that are you going to say share the Excel file? If I don't share the Excel file, how are you going to learn, right? So I hope that you ask more smarter question next time. Obviously we are going to share the Excel file. So then you can learn, practice on your own, right? And yeah, hurry up, because otherwise you have to pay double the price. And I think even 1500 is worth the price for this course if you are seeing this later. And that's how it is. I think it's very fairly priced compared to the effort that I have to put in for this course is way too much. It's way too much. I think it's around 30-35 days of hard work for creating such formulas, and kind of revising and understanding what is going on, what is going on. So I think this should be actually 10,500 rupees course, but because we are starting this fresher pack for the actual student, where Excel, VBA, CM1 and CS1 would be required. So that is why we kept it 1,500 deliberately, right? So that's it. I hope that you enjoyed this course, and for any feedback, do write to us at admin@bluedragonuniverse.in. Positive or negative, both are welcome. And yeah, that's it. See you in future videos.